Hi, folks. Welcome to the show. Our guest again today, Edmund Brown. Back at it, Ed.
This is it, boy.
Round number two.
Came back from
Because
more punishment.
some of our other buddies, who we won't mention names, were too chicken shit to come on the show, but that's fine.
Yeah. Come on, boys.
We're just joking,
Pull
boys.
up
We
the
love
britches.
you. We love you. We'll get you on. We got to
We
get you
do,
warmed
yeah.
up to it. That's all.
Yeah.
We know everybody's a little bit camera shy.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. No big deal.
Once you realize how awesome it is and you
Yeah,
really
how
come
much
to
fun
grips
you'll
with how
have.
awesome we are,
For sure.
Then-
Yeah, well,
it'll
you know.
just come into play and you'll want to tag along.
right. So, Ed, how's the COVID situation in Newfoundland now?
Hasn't been much of a difference in the last, I'd say, 3 to 6 months, maybe. Beginning of the school year, there was a little scare at the school. But for the rest, for overall, most Newfoundland, it's basically, seems to be a few cases in St. John's, but the rest of the province there's not much going on COVID-wise. It's the same restrictions are still in place. You wear a mask, but other than that, everything is pretty much open for business. You just,
Right. What about you, brother, in Nova Scotia?
Everything is flat out here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everywhere you go, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mask on,
For sure.
pretty much you can just piss off and turn around.
Yeah.
But, they still have the limitations on how many people are allowed in specific size stores and things like that. We've done pretty well here. We've never really at any point been crazy in our numbers. So everybody seems to just kind of be stuck on that. But,
Yeah.
I was at the mall today to go pick up my phone that was getting repaired, and holy Lord, man, there's people everywhere.
Yeah. It's not like that here.
No, I can imagine.
You're a lot deeper
Restrictions
up there. Yeah.
are much tighter here. Basically, nothing's open, no restaurants or anything like that, other than for takeout purposes.
Well, your numbers in Ontario are much higher too, aren't they?
Oh, for sure, obviously, but that's just because of per capita. I mean, I guess really Newfoundland probably handled it the best because they kind of closed up there for a while and they weren't really letting many people.
Yeah,
in,
when,
helps-
when
it
an
helps that
island
we're an
says
island.
no one's allowed.
Yeah, it helps that you're an island. For sure.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't that hard to close the borders. You know what I mean, and crack down.
No. The only tricky part then is getting your supplies.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. But that's essential service.
Still,
so you can,
that's still a pain. That's the only real downfall of COVID in Newfoundland right now, other than having to wear a mask, is ordering anything online, mail service that comes from off the island. Anything that's coming from off the island is delayed, and stuff that is getting here, all the prices have gone up. Like the price of lumber in Newfoundland right now is absolutely outrageous. Just go out and buy a piece of 2x4
yeah.
is
Ed, that's
crazy.
everywhere.
Well, yeah, I
But
would
it's
assume,
everywhere,
yeah.
though.
Well,
Yeah, it's
And it's just
here,
because the
too.
employees haven't been in the mills to be cutting up the lumber.
well, that's, yeah.
Like you
There's just-
can't buy a piece of pressure treated lumber here.
It's tricky, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
it's just-
you combine the prices that have increased on the mainland and then increase it again for the fact that stuff that's got to be shipped across on a boat to Newfoundland makes it compounds the problem here just that little bit extra. Right?
Yeah, for sure, of course.
Everybody in Deer Lake not building the big old houses now.
But I mean, you can kind of deal with the mass situation, like going in grocery stores and stuff like that. Like that's not that big a deal. Like you can,
No, that's a
It's
minor
tolerable.
inconvenience. Minor inconvenience.
but
Yeah.
what they're doing here, just locking the whole province down, and people are going out of business left, right, and center when it comes to like mom and pop restaurants and or like smaller businesses and stuff. It just, I don't know. I mean, I hate to criticize when I don't know what it's like to be a premier making these decisions, but they just don't seem to make a lot of sense. Like, for example, you can go into a Subway and order a sub and leave. You know what I mean? Or you can go into a liquor store, go up to the counter, or pick your liquor up, go up to the counter and buy it. But a cannabis store, you're not allowed to go in, which is fine. So what we do is we do like curbside pickups, right? Where
Yeah.
you come up to the door, there's a shield there with a table, so you don't actually come in the store. You pay for your thing and you pick up your thing. But they don't let you go up to the door and order. You can stand outside the door and call,
What's the
But
difference between that and
there-
a liquor store?
but there isn't one. That's what I'm saying. So
was gonna
the
say.
problem is the rules are different for all different businesses. So, like, there's no difference between me
Used to
going up
be.
to a cannabis store and standing outside and ordering online on my phone and then going to the door tapping my card and picking it up versus going to the door and saying, "Hi, could I have a can of whatever or a pack of pre-rolls?" Tapping my card and leaving again. But these are the silly rules. You know what I mean? Like they don't make a lot of sense.
No.
It should be unified across the board.
Like if you can go into a store
and buy a pack of gum,
Yeah.
then you should be able to go into a weed store and buy a gram of weed.
Yeah, just I mean, sure, limited capacity with your mask
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
whatever,
absolutely.
like,
As long as the
no
distancing
more
is
than
all
no more than
play.
5 people in a store or something, depending on your square footage. That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's not how they're doing it. Everybody has a different rule, and the problem is nobody knows what rule applies to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't make any sense. Even when Newfoundland locked down and a lot of places closed, and they only had essential businesses open. When they first started opening up other businesses, it wasn't like, oh well, this store's all right to open and have this many people, but not this one. It was they tried to make it fair.
Yeah, you can or you can't.
Right. It was one set of rules for everyone once they started reopening.
Yeah.
Right? It mostly went down to like the size of a building for how many people were allowed in at a time.
Square footage, yeah.
But other than that,
but even here, like for example, we had restaurants. Like let's say you've got a restaurant that's 2,000 square feet, right? And you were allowed 10 people in that restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you might have had another restaurant. Like I know a guy who has like a billiards hall, and it's a bar and restaurant, so he does like pizzas and stuff. And his facility is like 5,000 square feet. He was still only allowed 10 people. When really he could have sat 50 people in there at
equal distance.
Yeah, at more distance than this other restaurant. But he still wasn't allowed because they just capped it at 10 no matter what, which is kind of...
Well, they did something similar here in Newfoundland too. Like once businesses got so big, it started to get silly because they also had an upper cap, which in the beginning was 10 people. So even a big, massive grocery store, you're only allowed like 10 people at the very beginning. Now, those numbers did go up rapidly, but in the very beginning, it was like...
But it's hard to judge for a grocery store. Like, how many do you let in?
Yeah.
But
see here, it's got to be all square footage based because every single store you go to, like if you go to 2 different Sobeys, there's a different number on the sign out front.
Right.
Like the one I normally go to is allowed 65 people at a time.
Yeah. Because
the one that's down the road that's a bit smaller, they're only allowed 45.
Yeah. But that's a sensible decision.
It is.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And
it just makes sense.
Like
you have this many square feet of customer available space.
Right.
This is how many people you can have.
Yeah. But like bars and restaurants, they easily could have went, okay, what's your liquor license capacity? And gave you a percentage of people based on that. So if your license capacity is 100 people, you can have 20% based on your liquor license and your square footage.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Makes sense. It's pretty basic.
You could have gave the health inspectors for each city to go out and inspect each restaurant, which would have gave them something to do and kept them employed. Right? And they could have gave you just a little certification saying, based on your square footage and your layout, because you have your shields and everything up, you can have 25 people in here. Here's your thing. Hang it in your window so it shows, and you're good to go. Just something like that.
Easy.
I mean, maybe that's not the right idea, but at least it's something better than blanketing everybody with a 10-person cap.
Yeah.
Well, think about it though. Like, what else would you use other than square footage? If you got a tiny little store that it's hard to anyway, but they get the same limit as the grocery store across the street because they're not using square footage.
Yeah.
I mean, they just...
If you've got a small corner store that's not big enough for 2 cats to fuck, you know what I mean? Versus the Costco across the street that's a massive box store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
you want to see Costco here, man.
You go to Costco and there's 40 people crawling over each other, or 150 people crawling over each other. So
and 300 in line waiting.
Yeah, so Costco is immune to the cap.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
it seems like it. Some of the bigger stores, you walk in, it's just like, really?
It seems like the big guys are allowed to do whatever they want.
It's almost like money and politics go hand in hand.
Weird, isn't it? But
some kind of connection.
Politicians would never be crooked or
No,
underhanded
no,
or
of
do
course not.
something only for themselves. That's or get or just to get reelected. That's a weird.
No, well
They're all
they
good
made,
people, right?
Yeah, they're elected by the people,
Yes, of
for
course.
the
No,
people.
they're all great, upstanding human beings for sure.
Always.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, there's never been a
It's just a
crooked
lot of
politician.
accidents happen. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No politician's ever gone in there and said something just to get reelected.
No.
Never.
Doesn't even believe in it.
No,
No.
Honor
So-
is the utmost.
Full of fucking shit. Come on. I wonder what they're gonna do when it comes to like people's credit coming down the line. Like so many people, because if you think about it, let's say you're the guy who owns a small business. You did everything right. You didn't spend outside your means. You saved money. You kept your costs low. You did everything right. And then COVID comes along. The government steps in and says, you're not allowed to be open anymore. So they've created a problem for you. And then they look at you and say, you deal with it.
Yeah.
We're
You
going to
gotta
make
figure
the
it out.
problem, but you figure it out.
Yeah.
Not good.
Where do you land? You know?
I don't know.
Even not just for the business guy, for the employee that works
Yeah.
for that small business guy.
Who doesn't have a job right now?
Right.
And I know
Or,
they gave you
hours
CERB
might have
and
got
stuff,
cut
but-
in half or
Yep.
whatever. And yes, I get it. When it all first happened, and even when the second wave happened, we needed to do that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had to contain as best we could.
Sure.
But at the same time, I understand the government can't just pay for everybody's everything.
No. Well, the problem there is
But
like,
there should be some kind of way the government can step in and say, okay, look, companies, anybody who has like a recurring payment thing, like a car loan, say,
Yeah.
okay, for X amount of months until this gets squared away, you're not going to get any payments. They're still going to pay you that. Let's just tag it on the end of their, right? Let's
Extend
just
your-
extend the
yeah.
term, give you 6 months, no payments, so everybody can still fucking live.
yeah.
And then when that's up, now your payment term is just 6 months longer.
Well, I
Right.
mean, most of the banks stepped up and did that anyway, right? Didn't even have to worry about the government.
Not really.
Well, pretty much everybody I know that had car payments were deferred for several months while this was going on, and it just got added on to the end.
Well, what about the
Not
rent?
mine.
What about the rent and stuff? You know what I mean?
Well, there's
But-
programs in almost every province
For
to help
mortgages.
people. Yes, which is supposed to trickle down to the people who are then paying rent to these people who are paying mortgages. Supposed
Okay.
to. Don't get me
So,
wrong.
yeah,
I never
like,
seen
but
it.
you take
That's
for
what I mean.
example,
That's all based on a landlord who's just going to go, oh, yeah, well, I didn't have to pay the mortgage, so you don't have to pay the rent this month.
Yeah, exactly right.
there's
fun
few
finding him.
and far between.
Now-
Yeah.
Some guys for sure.
Now that said, there are a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
government things in place now to help people with rent.
Yeah, but if you look at that CERB that they did, the $2,000 a month, right? That's like you're going to have to pay some of that back.
A lot of that back.
That's not going to be.
Because
That's
it's-
not free like everybody thinks it's.
No,
gonna
no.
be.
Yeah, well, did you see the
they
numbers
only started.
on who
They
got
only
it?
started taking the appropriate tax rate off within the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
Before then, they were taxing it just like they tax EI, which is almost nothing.
Yeah.
So all these people that were so happy they got, oh my God, because a lot of people made more money on CERB
yeah.
than they did
Well,
working.
that's because in
Yep.
the beginning they took no tax out. I know
That's what I
they
mean.
took zero
So
tax.
these people are going to go file their taxes next spring,
Yeah.
and they're going to go, oh, well, by the way, you owe us $3,600.
Yep. Then what are people going to do?
Yeah, like
That-
they're
and that's
just
not
gonna,
even
"Wait,
in-
I don't have $3,600.
That's not even including all the people that just applied for it and they had no way to check whether you were actually supposed to get it or not.
eligible.
So they did a bunch of. I seen this article there the other day saying that there was like literally a couple, like millions of people who took this out between the ages of 15 and 18.
Oh,
Not even eligible for it, but they knew about it, so they applied for it and were getting
Got it.
while they're still in
yeah,
high
because
school.
it was basically no questions asked approval,
yeah.
right? But
And now
listen,
anybody like that is
I'm
going
not-
to owe all this money back.
I'm not saying they did anything wrong. I think they did a great job stepping in and getting that going very quickly. 'Cause
Well, that-
they had
Well, it's
to.
not like they had a book that they could refer to on how to deal with a situation
no.
like
Yeah,
this.
no, exactly. So I'm not like,
Didn't exist.
Well, this is the
I'm
thing.
just-
What I'm talking about is mostly people taking advantage of a system that the government tried to step up, put in place quickly, so they
Yeah.
couldn't have the proper
Yes.
things in place to make sure only the right people got it. So people took advantage. That
I
wasn't the
think
government.
the issue is it's not how they reacted initially,
No.
because nobody had a book on how to handle pandemics, like you said, Ed. But it's what we're doing now, almost a year later, that we haven't learned anything.
No, not really.
You know what I mean?
We just learned how to shut stuff down.
Which is not clearly not working, because we've been shut down here for almost a month and a half, and the
And you
cases
got
are still going
like
up.
rampant. Yeah.
So it's not the restaurants that's doing it.
No, no.
What they,
You know what I mean?
what they got to realize
just
is
isn't.
shutting stuff down only makes the honest people stay honest. You know, it's like when you lock a door and
just
you're
like a
gone.
padlock.
It's like when you lock a door and you're gone for a week. That only keeps the honest people out. If somebody wants to
Yeah,
get
of
in, they're
course.
going to get in regardless. So shutting all these
course.
businesses down and putting everybody in quarantine, the people that aren't going to listen no matter what. And that's what's making the cases continue to rise, because there's a lot of people that just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going out anyway. Right?
Yeah, I got shit to do.
And and it's really hard to figure out how to stop those people. You can put in all the regulations you want. They just don't care.
Yeah.
But I think, like, at what point do you say, okay, here's the deal. Anybody who's afraid or compromised or whatever, stay home if you want. For everybody else, guys like me, and I'm not saying I'm not taking it lightly. I'm just saying that the likelihood of anything happening to me, death-wise or long-term complication, is so slim. It's less than 1%. If you read the studies and listen to the news, then you say, okay, let me take the risk. It's my fault. It's my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's your
You
choice.
understand? Like, if you want to stay home and you're scared, we understand. I get it. You should be, like, but for somebody like me, if I want to go to the gym, I should be allowed to go to the gym.
As long as you follow the proper procedures while
Of
you're
course,
there.
if,
Yeah.
if they're
Well,
saying,
that's-
hey, listen, our gyms are open, wipe down your machine before you use it, wipe down after you use it, wear a mask in between exercises when you're not actually exercising. You can take it off when you're doing it. That's what they were doing before.
Yeah.
And it was working fine. And there's studies that show the more vitamins you take and the healthier you are exercise-wise and diet-wise, it's a direct correlation to how severe of a case you get.
Well, obviously.
For
Yeah.
most people, unless you have an
Yeah.
underlying issue like asthma or
You
whatever.
are, yes.
I'm talking about for guys like me, I don't have any medical conditions. I don't have any problems. So I should be able to go to that gym. And obviously, don't be a dickhead then and step out of the gym and go see your grandma in the home. or go to her house or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to stay away. Just Skype her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Don't forget about it.
Well,
but
see,
Skype
that's
her. Do
that's
whatever
kind
you
of
gotta do.
and the same lines of the point I was trying to make. Is the problem is like the government is cracking down on the normal people that are trying to obey the rules, and the people that aren't going to obey the rules, it's not affecting them because they're still doing what the hell they want anyway. So the only people that's actually suffering are the people that would probably act more responsible if they were given the opportunity to actually still go out and live their life.
Right.
Like, I'd love to go to a movie theater,
Oh, I'd say.
but
no
I just
kidding.
can't trust going.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And you got to be careful for sure.
Because there's too many meatheads who are like, oh, lights are all off.
Yeah, I know.
Off comes the mask. And like, fuck you, man.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Square up right in the theater.
But like I said, I mean, none of us are politicians. We don't know how hard it is to make those decisions, but there are ones that they should be able to sit down, as smart as they are, or allegedly, make a common sense decision to say, you know what, the lockdown's not working. Cases are still going
Yeah.
up. We might as well let certain businesses open and make some money.
Could do something.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
what's
can't
the
just
point of
let
trying
everybody
to?
You
see.
can't fucking destroy your economy over
Well,
it.
that's what I was about to say. What's the point of
Which
trying
we've
to
already done.
hold everybody's hand and try to prevent anybody from getting sick the best they can? It's failing anyway, blowing up in their face. Numbers, like you say, are still going up in populated areas. And on top of that, like you said, the economy is going down the tube for so many businesses, and especially smaller ones. Because, I mean, think about Walmart, Costco, stuff like that. They're not getting, like, they're going to
No,
be fine.
because they'll just ship it online.
They're going to be fine. But it's the small businesses.
Yeah.
You lose all those small businesses, that makes a massive impact on the economy. And there's still a lot of
yes.
people that get employed at smaller businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, locally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And suicide rates are up astronomically.
Yeah, I wonder why. People wondering how they're going to pay for that house over his head.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, like, I mean, even you just look at the rate of people doing consumer proposals and bankruptcies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, through the roof.
Yeah.
Because, people just, they get accustomed to where they're at with their financial load as opposed to their income load.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden something like COVID happens, and maybe one person got to still work for a full time, great. But even now, if the other person's only even losing half their wages,
Yeah.
that's half their wages. That's a quarter of the household income.
Yep. It's a lot of money.
Now all of a sudden there's stuff that you have always been able to afford,
You
and
can't.
you just got no money for.
Yeah.
So,
It's hard,
there's a lot of people that they, normally they wouldn't be in this situation. They wouldn't be in a financial crisis of any kind.
No.
But-
Yeah.
You're
Right. Yeah.
Now you're getting all these regular folk that are just going to lose pretty much everything.
Yeah. It's sad, man.
It's crazy.
But I wonder, I thought about it when like the pandemic first kind of started and everybody was thinking about their mortgages and their car payments and stuff. And I was like, what if, and I know that I'm not a global financial expert by any means at all. I'm just a moron talking. But could they not have said, let's just press pause on everything? The whole
Well, that's what I meant.
whole world just goes, everything is paused. Countries don't have to pay their loans or whatever it is, however they operate that. No banks take anybody's mortgages. No banks take anybody's loans until everybody's back to work. No, I mean, to me, nobody is losing money there. You're just hitting
No, 'cause
pause. So
everybody's
if,
off.
yeah. So if this was your last year on your car payment, for example, you would have hit pause, and then you just would have had another year. Like this year would have been shifted to when everything opened back up.
Yeah.
That's it. No interest increase. Stop the interest. All of it. Just pause everything.
There's one problem with that.
What? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They,
like what?
they
what
did that at the very beginning of all this. Most of the banks did. Almost like most people I know that had mortgages and car payments, stuff like that. Almost all the banks had some type of. Now they didn't always advertise. You had to go ask, but almost all of them had these things where they would pause everything. That's the same idea where they just paused it for so
But
many
they didn't
months.
pause
and
the
then
interest.
No, they didn't pause the interest. I'll agree there. But they but you still didn't have to make your payments for, I think it's mostly 6 months, maybe 8 months or whatever. And then those payments were added at the end. But here's the problem.
Sure.
At the end of that 6 to 8 month period, when we're still in the middle of it all the banks were just all of a sudden, it was like, well, we can't keep this up forever because we still have a lot of employees to pay. So we gotta keep the money coming in now. So most of these programs started dwindling off. That's where the problem with the banks come in. The only way something like that would work is if somehow it was government subsidized, because the banks have employees to pay too.
That's a good
Because
point, actually.
Like
yeah.
if they didn't have to worry
that's
about
a good
paying their
point.
employees, they could put everything on pause and not worry about it. But they
Yeah,
still got
that's
to
a good
pay
point.
their bills.
Yep. Well, that's a good point. So that answers my question on why they couldn't do that. That's good, right? Like that's a legit reason on why the whole world couldn't just hit pause on it.
Now, why the whole world governments couldn't get together and come up with some way to government subsidize it and come together is beyond me.
It would have been a lot cheaper to
In the
pause
long term.
everybody's loans and stuff and then subsidize the bank's wages, because I mean, how many employees do you really have to pay when you're on lockdown anyway?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another, I mean, there's a million ways you could have come up with things that may or
Absolutely.
may not have worked.
Sure.
Like we're just talking out of our ass right now, but I mean, I just think we should have learned eventually.
Yeah, there should have been something that came up that
all
made
we
people
keep
go,
doing-
"Oh, we'll
Yeah.
do this."
Well, see-
All we keep doing is repeating the same thing, which is the definition of insanity, trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah, and
Smarty
unfortunately,
pants.
world politics being what it is, you don't have a whole lot of countries lining up to all work together. There's been so many countries that have actually used this to actually put bigger divides between one another. country-wise, politically.
America, we're
right?
talking about you, by the way.
It's just
our
it,
neighbors.
God, a
it
bunch
just
of
doesn't make any
crazy.
sense. It was a time when the world should have came together and unified. Instead, a lot of them pushed each other apart.
Split.
Yeah. Get your shit together, America.
They're trying.
I know, but look who you got. You got a guy in office now that may or may not have dementia.
Look,
I'm just wondering if he's going to live long enough to complete his first term.
I think Kamala Harris is probably going to be the first woman president by default.
yeah,
I could see that.
I'm
That's
waiting
funny,
for
It's
it.
just going to be
That's-
unfit medically.
Yeah.
But if you want to understand what like it's like the last few years when it comes to America and voting and the craziness, just go back and watch the old classic movie Idiocracy.
Oh, that movie's hilarious.
Biden's going to show up one day to like a State of the Union address in like duck slippers and silk pajamas, not knowing where the fuck he's to. Can you imagine?
Hey,
That'd be
he might win over some Trump supporters then.
hilarious. Yeah. Just be crazy as possible, right? Boy, that guy didn't lose gracefully, did he?
No,
Not so
man.
much.
that's-
Boy, oh boy. Right to the end, he just...
And don't get me wrong, there was certain things he did while he was in power that were all right. It wasn't all
fuck,
bad. He
100%.
wasn't all bad. Far from it.
No,
But he's still, to me, he's just cracked off. I don't know what to tell you.
It's I think one of the biggest things was like the contrast between him and Obama.
Yeah, that too.
And I'm not saying Obama did all the. I mean, Obama, he ordered more, basically hits on people than any other president in the world. Like there was more people killed under his administration than any other president before him, with all the drone strikes and all that. But he was so well spoken, like such a statesman.
Well, that's the thing. He was.
Oh yeah, he was good
When,
talking.
when you
very
saw
professional.
him talk, like you sat back because you expect the politician, the president of the United States, the guy running the country, to be smarter than you, right? So you sit down and you go and you listen to him talk and you go, I feel okay. That guy is smarter than I am. He speaks better than I do. It makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But then you get a guy like Trump in office who, don't get me wrong, like you said, Ed, he did do some good things when it came to
Absolutely.
like,
He also had some crazy ideas too.
but then you just hear him talk
Grab her by the
and you-
pussy.
and you're like, this guy is not that fucking bright. Like,
Well, see,
what are you doing?
Well, see, the thing about Trump is he was after a completely different demographic. Think
know,
about
but-
who his supporters are. They wanted somebody that was
Yeah.
more like them in office. They didn't feel like they were. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people couldn't relate to people like Obama.
I know, but more like who? But
The easiest way I
you're
can
talking
describe
about-
the correlation is Trump is to politics as Happy Gilmore is to golf.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a pretty good reference.
Yeah.
It's a good point. But the people that supported him were all the good old country boy,
Oh yeah.
gun-toting Republicans. He's not that guy. He's from fucking, isn't he from New York?
Yes,
Yeah.
but he
And,
played
and
himself.
he's a
But this
business
is
guy
the
in New
thing.
York. When's the last time you think he was down south,
The-
other than in Florida playing golf?
Well, yeah. But that's the thing about Trump is like he put on this persona. The reason he seems so crazy from time to time, well, depending on who you are, because not everybody thought he was crazy. Some people love him. But people like me, I look at his actions, but the more I think about it, the more I saw him, the more I realized a lot of it was an act for his supporters. He knew what type of people
for
liked
sure.
him.
Oh, for
and he
sure.
just kept feeding them fuel to make sure they stayed on his side. Think about the act he took when he was almost about to leave office, and all of a sudden all those people showed up in Washington and rioted.
Yeah.
And
I
they
also
basically
think-
blamed him for it. It's not that he expected them to go that far. It's just that he kept giving them what they wanted to hear. I think it kind of
Right,
blew up in his
but-
face a little. He
but
wasn't
as
expecting them to show
president-
up and do that.
As president, you're supposed to,
No better.
Well,
yeah,
that's
you're
the
supposed
issue,
to
though.
tell
He doesn't.
everybody, hey, don't fucking.
Well, that's the problem.
the
He was
Capitol building, like-
more concerned with the popularity contest with the people who wanted him in office than he was about doing his job the right way.
You know what? When you watch some of his like conferences or whatever, or speeches,
Yeah.
like a lot of the times when he said outlandish shit, I actually think he was making jokes. Like he was kind of being a comedian.
In a way, because if you think about it, he was doing it for a very specific reason, though. He knew
Yeah.
that the crowd that liked him would eat that shit up. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the fake persona that he was putting on. I honestly believe that.
Like Did you see the one where he was talking about, I don't know, like Lysol or something, or bleach that killed the coronavirus dead, and he was like,
drinking it
can we
or
think about
something?
maybe injecting that? He's like looking at the minister of health, and he's like, can we maybe like people inject that and see what happens? You know what I mean? Like, you want to hope he was joking,
Sure,
You
we'll
wanna
do
hope
that,
that he was
Mr.
cracking a
President.
right? But
It's hard to know
God
sometimes.
knows.
I mean, you know, how much of it is a fake persona for popularity? He's just a little out of touch. Because let's face it,
Well,
he is a little out of touch with the real world.
oh, for sure.
Well, yeah.
Most rich people are.
That's exactly
Yeah.
where I'm going.
Most super rich people, even the ones that built themselves from nothing,
Once-
eventually, if
eventually,
you're
yeah.
rich for 40 years, like filthy rich,
Yeah.
you still at some point lose a little bit of touch.
You start to forget
with
what it was like.
What it was
You
like.
have to.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It's, you know,
I'd like to
It happens.
try.
Oh, absolutely.
you want to try, brother? Just try to get. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
give it a go, see if I can get through it and remember where I came from.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe I'd stay
never
humble. Meanwhile,
If anybody wants to help me out on that, we do have a Patreon website.
absolutely, yeah.
I think, I mean, you probably would now. You'd probably stay pretty humble. Well, in some ways, you wouldn't, though.
In some ways, no, because the things that I've spent my whole life wishing that I could do,
Yeah.
like those consistent wants,
Yeah.
then I'd be like, oh, well, I can do them. And I can
Yeah.
buy the best quality gear to do it with.
Right, exactly.
After 10 years of that, I'm going to be like, I'm not getting a Remington 870.
No. You're going to buy a Benelli,
Right.
right?
Right now, I'm
Or-
like,
or a
870
Beretta.
Wingmaster? Yeah, let's fucking do that.
Of course. But I mean, the end goal is to have something like a Browning or a Benelli or a Beretta. Like, those are the.
Hey, there's nothing
Don't
wrong with
be
my
antsy.
1953 Sears catalog shotgun, okay?
I'm going to tell you,
No,
buddy.
no, for sure.
That's a nice shotgun.
Oh, it is.
It is, yeah. of
Once I get it
course.
repaired, it
Yep.
knows it's seen
Absolutely.
it's seen a bit of wear and tear.
That puppy's going to be nice once you get that cycling.
I figured out what was wrong with that Browning
Browning.
Auto 5 I had,
Mhm.
or I have.
Yeah, what was that?
The recoil spring is weak. It's stretched out, like it's worn out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once I get a new one of those, it'll, when the bolt comes back after you fire the shot, it'll return the bolt and cycle the next round.
Yeah,
So I-
because that's what it was too. Yeah, cycling was your issue.
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna replace the tube spring as well.
Where was that range we went? That was out Stephenville way, wasn't it? Stephenville Crossing area.
It was, yeah.
That was a nice little range,
Oh,
man.
it's beautiful. Yeah, it's great.
Shit,
Wonderful
I
spot.
remember that. It was nice. They had that really nice wooden four-drop and everything to get behind. And
Oh yeah, when you were so
That
you
was
could shoot in the
nice.
rain and stuff.
You
And
tell me-
yeah,
Yeah.
you say
it
it
was
was out by
awesome.
Stephenville Crossing?
Yeah, so when I bought
Yeah.
that Browning Auto 5, me and brother drove out there,
Yes, I remember
pick it up
that.
from the
Yeah,
guy.
I couldn't go. That's
And-
right.
but I wanted to try to see if
Who
the
come
gun
with us,
cycled.
brother?
I thought
first,
Johnny
right?
came with you.
Yes.
Yeah, what maybe no, it was just me and you, brother.
Or was
yeah,
it?
no, Johnny sat in the back.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I could have swore
Yeah.
that Johnny
Yeah.
went too.
So the
Yeah, we
the
did.
guy took us to the range and we put a few shells through it. It worked great, but
Yep.
the spring did wear out after a while, and it was already weak.
Well,
Well, that's like that
yeah.
that one I
it
got.
was 1957. Like,
Well, mine's 1953. But my biggest problem with
well,
mine,
my rifle's 1914, so
but my biggest problem with mine is the charging handle is what actually attaches to the recoil spring. So there's
Yeah.
nothing stopping the actual bolt from flying back. There's nothing behind the bolt at all. And when you use powerful loads in it, it literally just breaks off the charging handle and the bolt comes flying back. And that's what happened to it. So the other thing is it's got the base barrel on it. It came to two different types of barrels, and one of them actually could take the Magnum rounds and had an adjustable gas port. And I'd like to find one of them
Yes.
because then I can
Yeah.
adjust it. So when I am using a little bit hotter rounds in it, I can adjust
Yeah.
it and not put so much strain on the charge handle, right?
no. There's what was it? There's a component inside when you take it apart.
Yeah.
You just got to flip it around.
It's not in that one. That came in the better barrel. That whole barrel assembly on the end where the gas block is, that's where that piece that's the adjustable.
Yeah, but I'm
piece.
almost positive.
Because
are you talking about
I took
on
it
the
apart.
piston, the the gas piston?
No, it's ahead of the gas piston.
Yeah.
It's basically, it adjusts the size of the gas piston.
Oh, I see. I know what you're talking about.
So not all the gas actually gets on the piston. Some of it is actually
Yeah,
blown out the
right.
side. And
Yeah.
the
Right.
adjustable piece is not in that one. I took it, stripped it all down, and looked at the blueprints of both types, and that one doesn't have it.
Yeah. It's. I think
It's been a long time since I seen the guts of that shotgun.
Oh,
so.
it's been a nice
yeah,
while
no
now.
doubt. I don't know what I'd prefer if I like the gas operation or the kinetic operation.
Inertia.
Yeah, the inertia ones are more reliable, but they kick harder,
Well, they're as
Well, yes, they
reliable
would
as
kick
your
harder.
ammo.
right? What's that?
They're
bro?
reliable as your ammo, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. They do need a heavier load.
I find
So-
that
and it's got to be consistent loads too, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're going to get a variation in just how much inertia you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
well, that's
in
the thing.
return.
If you're cleaning regularly and using proper ammo, I find gas can be more reliable for variation of different loads because you're
So-
always going to get enough gas to
Yeah.
cycle properly.
When I had that Black Eagle 2
Yeah.
versus the
Black Eagle
Super Black Eagle
butter.
Versus the A400 now, I found them both equally reliable. They're just the gas operated A400 it cycles a bit better when you're using lighter loads.
Yeah,
That's all.
I could see it.
And it's
Well, that's
and
the part I'm
gas
talking about.
operation. The gas operation is a lot easier on the shoulder.
Yeah.
See, now
it
I like
takes that
the
edge off.
feel of your Super Black Eagle a lot better,
Oh yeah,
and like ergonomically.
yeah. See, I like the
found-
Beretta is better for me.
I find she's
It's
tick
thick.
by
Yeah,
she
it's thick.
tick.
Oh, it's thick. Yeah, but I like it with. I don't like it actually, to be honest. If we were shooting in the summer, like when we were clay shooting,
Yeah.
the Black Eagle was nicer in the summer in the warmth with bare hands and all that stuff. But when you get in the winter in the cold, that Beretta with gloves and bulky stuff on, much better. More to grab. The rubber inlays are nicer. You know what I mean? It felt firmer in your hands, right?
Yeah.
But
why
everybody's
I
got
like
what they
the-
like. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at the four stock on my 1187, and it's got, it's very similar to an upside down wooden handrail. It's got like that bulge at the bottom.
yeah,
So it rests in the palm quite nice, but it's nice and thin where your fingers are going to lay. So it gives you that real nice confident
yeah.
hold on it.
Yeah, those I'll tell you the sight line on those the Browning Auto 5s and the A5s, the humpback.
Yeah.
It's a real nice sight line. Like it catches your eye so much better.
Yeah, it's easier to line up.
I can see that
Yeah.
because of the way it's shaped on the back there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have is there a mid bead on yours?
Mine, no.
No. What
No,
about yours, bro?
he's just got the muzzle one. Mine's got a rear bead in front.
Oh, does it?
Mine's got the rear double blade and a
Right.
single front.
Right. Because mine,
But I got
like,
the fiber optic one.
because my Benelli had a mid bead
Yeah.
and the fiber optic sight on the end, but my Beretta just has the fiber sight, and I prefer just the fiber sight. I don't like the mid bead.
Well, technically,
Well, if it's doing it right, you're gonna lose your fiber sight when you line them up.
yeah, exactly.
well, that's the thing. Technically,
I'd rather see the fiber sight than the brass.
the sight on the end is all you need for spread shot. When you got multiple
Yeah.
sights on a shotgun, it's only for when you're shooting slugs anyway, really.
Yeah.
'Cause then you're
Well,
using it
again,
more like
when
a
you're
rifle.
shooting birdshot, you're supposed to be having two eyes open
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, you look across the barrel, not down it.
Yeah.
Right.
All I know is all I can remember, man, with them slugs is fucking walloping the bev wire.
The pesky beaver, yeah,
Goodbye to your skull.
that was a sight to behold.
Deserved it. He fucked up that road.
He did
Oh,
ruin
the
that
whole road
didn't
was
he?
destroyed from it.
Gone.
Yeah,
They're like your arch enemy, brother.
pesky beaver dams, man.
You remember the camper story, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Put a lot of work into that camper.
Left it in a field, and the beavers decided to make a lake there.
Motherfuckers. 32 years I spent going to that goddamn site, man, and never once did that bitch ever flood. And 1 year I decides to put a camper there, a beaver moves in.
That's funny.
Yeah, ha, ha, ha.
I find it amusing.
You can both go fuck off somewhere.
It is what it is. I've been putting some reps in with the bow. Trying to get some practice and stuff like that.
Brother,
What?
question.
Yeah.
Crossbows legal up there?
In Ontario, yep.
They are here too.
Guess
I
what?
know.
They're now legal here.
Fuck
Really?
off, really?
I don't know if it's actually out yet, but they're
Wait.
they're going to make it legal here too. Yes.
In,
Do you realize
in
the only
Newfoundland.
reason me and Gary moved out of Newfoundland is because you couldn't use crossbows?
Yes. They waited for you fuckers to leave.
I'm just fucking around. Really, I didn't know they were going to make them legal. I think last time I checked, there was only 2 provinces that crossbows
Yeah,
were
it was
illegal in.
Newfoundland
and Quebec.
BC, I think.
No, Quebec.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think
Quebec makes sense.
I might be wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Quebec.
Fact checker.
Fact check me, brother. But I know in Alberta you can use a crossbow. But that's like that's like
definitely.
our Texas.
Well,
Yeah.
that is absolutely our Texas.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it was Quebec and Newfoundland. I think here you might need to take a compound bow course. Like a safety, like a firearm safety course.
You're not allowed to use them in Newfoundland or the Yukon.
Oh. But they're getting rid of that, Ed, or?
That's what the word is. Yeah, they're talking about the fact
Oh.
they're going to let go of the ban on crossbows soon.
Do you
Nothing wrong with
remember
that.
when they were going to take that one small area up by the airport in Deer Lake?
For
Because
bow
you're not
hunting?
allowed to hunt. Yeah, you're not allowed to hunt within a certain distance of the airport.
Yeah.
And they were going to make it strictly an archery hunting zone.
Yeah.
So you could use
Sick.
just compound bows or recurves. And that never came to fruition at all.
No.
Which is kind of sad because if you think about like we would have applied there every year.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have applied anywhere else.
I heard
No.
that it wasn't worth the time and effort to go through the process of getting it all finalized because not
What
enough interest
fucking
was
process? Sign a fucking stupid piece of paper saying, yeah,
This
you can
land
hunt
is
there
now
with a bow.
this.
shown. Yeah, but you know
That's
what
it.
red tape goes on in the government.
I know, but nonsense. What
But as
What
far,
diff- it's
as far
just diff-
from what I heard, there wasn't enough interest. There wasn't enough hunters in the area that
me and
were
Gary
kicking
were
up a
interested.
fuss.
That's enough. We would have had our own personal hunting zone. Fuck
Yeah.
everybody else.
Oh yeah,
What do we care? Ed, you could have been in
Have
on too.
you
absolutely.
Johnny,
have you
the
had
four of
any
us.
deer meat since you've been up there?
What's that?
Have you had any deer meat since you've been up there?
Yeah. Little,
How'd you find it?
I like deer.
I had a roast come to me,
Yep.
and I did it up in the pot,
Yep.
and it was already pre-cooked and everything.
Oh, okay.
But then I threw it in the pot because he said,
Yeah.
you still got to fully cook it and everything. And
Yeah.
man, fucking garbage, man.
Really?
Everybody's like, oh, moose is so gamey. Like
Oh no, deer
fuck.
is much more gamey than moose.
deer. Oh my god,
sure.
that was terrible.
But you gotta when you have a gamey animal, you gotta use a lot of garlic because it cuts the gaminess out of it.
a lot of something.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Fuck.
have you ever ate a merganser duck?
No.
Well,
I don't
so
think
they're
so.
they're the
I've had
ones
duck
with
before,
the
but I
long
don't
bill
know
with
if I've
the
had that
teeth
one.
in it.
Yeah.
And they primarily they're not like puddle ducks that eat like vegetation. They literally eat fish, like small fish. So
Meat
they're,
eaters,
they're, yeah, they're real. Like you got to use a lot of garlic because they got a fishy taste to them.
Yeah.
Like it's real gamey. So, and I think deer's
Yeah.
the same way.
I didn't enjoy it.
No,
Never
But
ever
see, I
had
think-
deer, so
I'll definitely still give one a wallop.
oh yeah, but you know what?
But
I'm gonna
I'll
try to
just,
get
like,
lined up to shoot
With the
one
deer meat.
next year.
Yeah.
So
Well, here now that I got my driver's license here, all I gotta do is go to the fucking store.
yeah, that's convenient.
Just buy a deer license, go shoot a deer, go back get another deer license.
Yeah, it's not like that in Ontario. It's way more regulated.
Yeah.
It's
There's
nonsense.
a lot of
It's
fucking deer
nonsense
here though.
There's a lot of deer here.
but there's also
Yeah,
a
I
lot
know,
of
but you
people
got a bigger
in Ontario.
province.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're all hippies. None of them like to hunt.
Mm.
They're all like, "Wow, why do you want to
That's
shoot a
that's the
deer? Why
real
don't you just go to
reason
the
that
grocery
Chris
store?"
moved up there.
Ugh. What?
To fit in with your
Because I'm
client.
a hippie? Get the fuck out of here.
Yup. Yuppie.
A little bit. But I still like hunting. A PSE, I'd like that. I wouldn't mind having a PSE.
Was that
I'll
the-
tell you what.
Was that the bow
What's
that
that
you
in?
had when I saw? The one that I saw?
You saw both my bows.
I don't.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yep.
Yeah, they were both there when we went out and out by the airport shooting.
Yeah. Because Johnny.
That was a good afternoon.
Yeah. Johnny brought his because he had bought it. He bought that off of me. And I had my my Matthews.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, I did see
Remember?
both. I forgot that Johnny's he originally got off you. That's right.
Yeah.
I still remember that when we were shooting there and Mike brought out his 10 gauge.
Oh, that
Yeah.
thing's savage.
We'd all shoot at the same thing and be like, pow, 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 thud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
a nice-
easy to
Oh,
tell.
a nice shot.
man. The thing was like a punt gun. I got to get me one of them, brother, so I can do that with you on the show.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll show you this actually. So you see,
As long as they're not smelly.
it's this is an Ace Valley one.
Yeah.
So basically, this is
Just
a
tips.
rechargeable.
Yeah, it's like
So
mine.
this is the battery. Yeah, like a PAX. Yeah. This is a battery with the element, and this is the cartridge. It's a 510 cartridge. So they did a real good job of like all companies make one of these, so you can basically interchangeable. You don't have to stick with the Ace Valley cartridge. You can use any like this is not an Ace Valley cartridge, and it's just 510 thread. That's why they call it a 510 cartridge, 510 kit thread count, and they're great, man. Convenient. They work
What's the
good.
vapor smell like? Nothing or?
You get when you first puff on it, let it out. You get a small, faint cannabis smell, and then
For the initial activation.
yeah, and then like now you can't smell it now,
Yeah.
right? So listen to me saying cannabis like a fucking square nerd.
Marijuana.
Weed, man.
I already explained why you moved to Ontario. I'm just saying.
Ed, made me come down there. Yeah, but Ed or brother, you got to get a bow too eventually at some point.
I know, so bad.
Yeah.
But see, I'd like to go and get a recurve.
Really?
Yeah, I like
They're
the old
so
school shit,
hard
you
to
know
shoot
that.
though, brother.
I know.
They're nice
Like
to
I think
have, though.
I think you're better off learning on a
But see, I
compound
wouldn't
and then
use that for
going
hunting.
to a recurve.
I wouldn't use that for hunting.
No, I know.
That would
I know.
just be for my range practice, target practice.
Yeah.
You know, but if for actual going out and hunting, yeah, I want.
You gotta
Oh,
have
yeah,
a compound for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like a nice PSE would be nice for you, like a ready to shoot, already
Yeah,
done.
just a built package
yeah,
ready to
like
go.
Sights
Just
are
gotta
on
go
there,
sight it in.
silencers are on there, stabilizers are on there.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah, oh
figure.
yeah, I definitely buy a package because I wouldn't be. I'm not at the level where I would really require individual components of a specific nature
No.
to complete my package.
No.
I just need a package that I know all functions together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Like something $500, like the $499 range.
Yeah.
That's good.
that'll get you a decent bow. A $500 bow is not bad.
yeah.
You got to get.
Oh, it'll certainly slouch the bear.
Yeah. You got to figure out your draw length and all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? But that's not
It's
that's
been
not hard.
years.
to
I
do
don't remember how
anyway.
to do all that shit.
And what poundage you want to shoot, right?
A billion
1 billion pounds. I don't know if you can pull that back, brother.
Newton meters.
But there's a lot of it, like to know about
Oh my God!
you-
Yes,
when you're
there's
buying a
a whole
bow.
fucking thing, man.
between your draw length, your poundage, your let off, your valley, all that stuff, man. You know
Bows
You don't
shoot
wanna be-
arrows.
what's that, Ed?
I just let you know what I knew about bows. Bows shoot arrows.
Oh, bow shoot arrows. Yeah.
See, I see Ed with the old longbow.
Yeah, 100-pound
Right.
draw. Imagine those you wouldn't. Whew.
100 pounds a lot. Mine's only a
That's
65.
No,
pound
that's
draw.
why I said it. 100-pound like war bow, longbow. Like good luck pulling that back. If you could, what a shot
Yeah.
you'd have.
A lot of guys shoot a 80-pound draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but an
Yeah,
80
that's
pound
all.
on a compound, an 80 pound on a longbow feels completely different.
It's different
Yeah,
pull.
I know,
yeah.
but that 80 pounds is 80 pounds all
It's
up until
still
you get
heavy.
to the valley.
That's heavy.
You know what I mean?
And
then
with a
the
longbow,
valley lets
with 80,
the valley lets it off, right?
but you don't get that with a longbow. That's what I mean. You're just holding it the entire time, full bore.
Yeah, you don't get the valley. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's why I don't think I'll ever bother with a recurve.
Fun for practice though.
They would be.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
why I
such
said,
a different style of shooting that it wouldn't. I don't think it transfers over that much.
No, not
'Cause
necessarily.
recurves are all instinct shooting. Basically, there's no sights on them. You know what I mean?
For me, it'd be more
Yeah.
to play around with and to have, not
sure.
to practice for actual hunting.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Just for range time.
Yeah.
yeah. I love shooting a compound though. It's so much fun.
Oh, they're
It's the same
fantastic.
reason
man.
that you'd want to have, a restricted license in Canada and own a handgun. It's just something to take to the range, have a bit of fun with.
Yeah, that's probably going away one day soon.
Yeah.
I love my handgun pellet guns.
Like, can you?
I do.
imagine?
Well, they're proper weight, proper dimension, proper function. Everything on them matches the real life version of the weapon. It's just 177 caliber.
Mm.
Fantastic. Tons of fun.
I wonder if
Especially that navy that I got. Oh, right, shiny and chrome with the ivory handles.
the ivory handles. Yeah, I'd like to have like a Remington 11. What is it? 1911.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
1911, a Colt.
Yeah, they're like
Or
the
Colt
military
1911,
issued,
either
standard
one.
issue handgun, right?
Hmm.
They're
Yeah,
nice,
Colt-
man. You can
the
get
Colt-
you can
well,
get them all
I can't
chromed out and
say-
stuff. They look great.
I can't say Colt 1911. That's who originally made it, but I mean, you get 1911
Yeah,
by so
well-
many different companies now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're right.
But the Remington one is quite nice.
Yeah.
The serviceman edition
Yeah.
one, it's quite nice.
'Cause
It's just got that nice wooden handle.
Ruger makes one as
blades
well,
and-
right?
Yeah, a whole bunch of them make it.
Ruger makes a nice gun too.
Ruger makes beautiful
Ruger-
revolvers.
Ruger is known a lot for handguns.
Yeah,
The 1022, yeah.
No,
Do you remember?
I think they're illegal in Canada.
Oh
hey?
yeah. What, the 1022?
A 22 caliber handgun.
the handguns, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, not
That's
the rifle.
stupid.
Just the handgun.
Yeah.
Like you can't have a 22
Yeah,
caliber
the
handgun. in
1022
Yeah.
is a semi-automatic rifle.
Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the ones you could get with the 410 shotgun on the bottom?
Yeah,
Oh, I'd love one.
Right.
there's several.
be
There's several
so sweet, man.
survival, considered survival rifles.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Remember the
Little
one that
fold-up
folds
ones.
up into the butt?
Yeah.
They're not very accurate though.
No.
No.
But
That's
they're
why the
meant to.
410 part's there.
Yeah, they're basically meant to throw in a book bag when you're out in the middle of nowhere as a last resort type thing.
It'd get you by if you
Yeah.
had to shoot something. Yeah, for sure.
But you could snag a rabbit with that 410 section. no
Oh,
sweat.
absolutely.
It's like all these people that are like, oh yeah, I just kills him with the 22, man. He just runs in front of me, pow, I get him. Like,
I
Yeah.
don't know about that.
I put a lot of fucking rounds downrange, man.
I've done it though.
Rabbits are fast.
Oh yeah, well it depends on distance too, and whether or not what kind of stuff they're going through. If they're out in the open and they're just running, no, you're not getting it.
I got a funny
But
feeling
if they're
that
in
the only
thick
way you're
brush
shooting a
and they're
rabbit
just
with a 20.
just started to move, yeah, you can pick them up.
You say, brother?
I got a funny feeling anybody shooting a rabbit with a 22, the rabbit stood still.
Or like
Oh,
I
for the
said,
most part.
wasn't moving that fast.
Yeah, like just
'Cause I've
coming out
gotten
of
them
the
and they-
bush or something.
yeah, that's what I
but-
mean. Like literally just coming out of the bush, was barely moving. I've done it, but I've never seen anybody pick one off in full speed going
On
across
a
an
run?
open area.
Ooh.
Not even
I don't
half
think it's
speed.
gonna happen.
Nah,
You're not gonna have enough
22
time.
is a
You're not gonna have
little
enough time.
tiny
Not
projectile.
only that, you're not even gonna have enough time to aim for it before it's out of sight.
No.
Yeah, how do you maintain visual?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you use a shotgun.
Well, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because it's got a good spread.
Exactly. Fuck that. Bananas, man. Yeah.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
It is bananas.
What are you drinking there, brother?
That's one of the new Tweed drinks. It's
Oh, look at you right into it.
Baker Street and ginger. So it kind of
Baker Street. I've had that a bunch of times.
this tastes like ginger ale, brother,
Really?
which is right up your alley. That's why I brought it out.
This tastes like coffee.
Attaboy. But the only problem with
We
these
all
is
know what this is, the champagne of ginger ales. That was actually Canada Dry's original slogan.
really.
Yes.
Oh. But these only have 2 milligrams of THC, so they don't really You got to drink 2 of them
You're right.
to get anywhere.
So is it like is it like just a carbonated pop style drink,
Yeah,
or is it
tastes
like
like
an
ginger.
energy drink, or
No, it's weed.
yeah?
Oh no, it just
But
tastes like
like,
ginger.
is it mixed into like pop, or is it mixed into sparkling water? Like when you pop the top, does it go
Oh yeah,
like
it's,
a
it's
can?
carbonated. Yeah,
Okay, well that's what I'm trying to get at you.
It's
It's probably like a sparkling water.
Fucking pry it at you like
No,
a goddamn
it's-
crowbar.
it's
and,
like
you know,
ginger
use a little
ale
trunk.
with weed in it.
Oh,
It tastes like
All
ginger
right.
ale. Yeah, but there's no sugar
Yeah.
in it.
Sugar free.
Oh wait,
nice.
never
And
mind.
what are they
never mind,
using as
never
a
mind. There's
sweetener?
lots of sugar.
Okay.
I was
No,
going to say
never
the,
mind.
the ones that are like
Most of
sparkling
them-
water don't have any sugar.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this one has lots. 28 grams to be exact.
Okay. Well, I know my can of Canada Dry has more.
How much does it have?
32.
Oh wow, that's actually not that much more.
Yeah. Well, it is, and it's what? Because that can you got there is what, 210 or 310 mils?
355.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, it's just a
It's
tall,
tall,
skinny
yeah.
one. Yeah, it's the same size can. How much sodium is in that? Any sodium? It's crazy how much salt is in this fucking can of ginger ale.
2 milligrams.
50.
That's a lot of salt.
God damn.
Jesus. That's
How is my body not like raisinette?
Yeah, you're like pickled inside probably.
That's why I gotta get like some anti-aging cream and shit. I'm getting a little bit wrinkly from Asadi ginger ale sucking the life out of
You
me.
and me both.
You don't even drink that much ginger ale. You drink more
I'm
water.
talking about wrinkles.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not talking about my ass.
Here, Mom, I'm talking about my face.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah. That's it, I guess. Proud of getting older, right?
Yeah, I hear you. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you, it's since we started doing this,
Really?
I'm really noticing it. Well,
Oh,
I'm
'cause you're
seeing
looking at
myself on
yourself.
my screen all the time,
Yeah.
right?
You see yourself more
I'm
often,
like-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, holy shit. I got like, 6-piece luggage underneath my eyeballs.
Pretty much. These are great. Hey, brother, you got to get one of these. Ed, I know you don't do it yet, but
If I could,
Yeah, I gotta
if
go
I
to
could
the-
find something that just has CBD in it for pain, I'd be all right. I just don't want any THC.
You absolutely
Oh,
can.
there's
Yeah,
lots
I've
now.
tried a couple different things
Yeah.
because I have back issues, and so far I
Yeah.
haven't really found anything that works for me.
you should just start
Have you
smoking
tried
weed,
the
Ed.
drops?
Not yet. And there's also a spray you can get apparently. That you just spray,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Tyler said he's gonna.
On your tongue.
Yeah, Tyler said
Yeah.
Rebecca used it because she had some aches and pains as well. And the next time Nate
from her
comes in,
whiplash.
he's gonna bring it over just for me to try one night and see.
Yeah.
Because if it
Yeah.
can help me
Ed-
sleep without any pain, it'd be worth it.
Do you know how to help you sleep
Well-
without any pain?
What's that?
Smacking the lips.
Actual pot.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I like being sober. I don't like any.
Yeah, you
Yeah, but if
never
you're
were
doing
one
it
of the
just to
guys
go
that
to-
like to get drunk.
But
or
if you're
anything.
just doing it to
really.
go to bed,
What?
Yeah, if you're just
Well,
doing
I
it.
All
suppose
we're
it's
talking
just before
about-
bed, maybe.
Yeah.
But
right? Like it's literally you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go brush my teeth in 5 minutes, go outside, take a couple little puffs off just a little one-hitter pipe.
yeah,
For someone who's not doing it daily, even if you did do it daily, just before bed, you'd need so little.
true.
You'd walk inside, brush your teeth, lay down, you'd be like,
For somebody who doesn't do it at all, if you just got one of these and like took a puff
three,
or
three,
two,
4 puffs.
because that's like 60 or 70% THC, which a normal joint is only like 19.
Man.
So you took a puff of this right before you were going to bed, like 5 minutes before. It'll help you sleep, and you don't have to worry about being sober or anything because you're going to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not gonna wake up hungover.
Yeah.
Well, no.
And it's not like being drunk. Like I can function high. Like if I had to go out right now and do something, I could do it.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
hope so.
Chris,
But
you
when
do
you're drunk,
realize
you're like,
it's not like I've never done it.
no,
My
I know.
point is, you're still not normal. I'm just the type where I like to have a clear
You're not
mind.
normal anyway.
No, but my point is, I like having a clear mind all the time. I'm always thinking about something.
ah.
There's always something going on in my mind, and I find whether it
I
be
know,
THC,
but when you smoke weed, you get even
or
more inside
alcohol,
your head.
yeah, but I know it screws me right up. I can't think.
I
when I'm
watched
on it.
space documentaries the other day, how the universe works. Not good.
Yeah, but see,
Watch
I
when
watched
you're
that
high.
sober when I'm stoned. Because when I was younger, I mean, we all tried weed. You guys
Yeah.
still do, but I mean, I used to, and I found it slowed my mind down to the point where I couldn't even think normal.
It did to me at first too, but now it doesn't. Just when I first started doing it, because I didn't do it till I was 33, Ed.
Yeah, but I started doing it in high school, and I did it for years. It always had that effect on me.
Oh, it doesn't have that effect on me anymore. But anyway, that's, by the way, How the Universe Works. Great show.
All it ever did was give me puffy eyes.
You do have puffy eyes.
Oh yeah, that's how you know.
Yeah. It
I'm
doesn't do
all
that
just
to me,
like,
though. Yeah, it doesn't do that to me. I think you should try it, Ed, if you can't sleep one night. Just get Ruba to give you a little tiny pinner.
just a little toot, yeah.
I did try that once, and the problem was he had ridiculous stuff there, and just a couple of roots
Yeah,
off
well,
just
that's
knocked
the
me
thing,
out,
see?
in a
Ruba
bad
gave
way.
you the shit.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, why would you give me that when I needed
Ed, did
something
you ever-
mild?
Did you ever try edibles, Ed?
No.
You might like that better, because it's very
Yeah.
different.
It's in the body. It's,
Yeah.
it's processed differently, right?
Yeah. It's very different than smoking it.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that would help you more with the body pain,
Yeah, for sure.
just because
And
it's getting
you can take
processed
like
in
a
a way
5
that-
milligrams and you don't, or a 2.5 milligram, and you won't even get really high, to be honest.
No, God.
Or buy a drink like I just had, Ed.
I tried them.
Yeah.
Did you?
Did nothing.
Nothing? Yeah, you probably didn't drink enough, that's all.
I just drank one can.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So one can doesn't do anything to me.
No.
If I drink 2.
But now I had one that just had CBD in it, too.
Oh, that's why then. Okay, yeah. That won't do anything to you. But one with a little bit of THC?
But what I mean is, like, I didn't have any, like, the CBD didn't do anything either. I didn't find any relief of any kind.
Yeah, I got a little bit of relief from CBD, I think. It's hard to tell, man.
It is.
It's hard to tell.
And it's all in the method that you ingest it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, that's
For
the
sure.
thing, too. Like, I don't know how much to take. It might be that one can of that CBD stuff that I had just was not near enough for what I
It's
got
definitely
going on.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all different levels too, right?
Absolutely.
Depending on the strain of weed that it was, it's going to be a different level of CBD percentage wise.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. I don't know
So-
anything about any of that. See, so it's like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tried this and that.
Well, with the CBD stuff, if you can stay above 10% for the CBD and as close to 0 for THC,
Yeah.
you're sailing.
I've seen these tea bags online that are like 20% CBD and apparently 0% THC.
Deadly.
Yeah.
I
Grab
was
it.
thinking about
Grab 'em.
trying them because they're pretty cheap.
Yep.
Tea will probably be good too because it'll absorb into your
Yes.
body faster because it's warm.
Yeah. I was thinking about, I mean, you know, it considering it's like a box of 50 tea bags, I think, and it's like $20 or something. It's cheap enough as worth buying to try.
Have they changed
most-
any of the drug testing for places now that weed is legal, I wonder?
I haven't heard
Like,
anything.
I remember
yet.
when I
mean,
used
I know
to-
they were talking about making a quick test
Yeah.
system.
I know
Where it
that
was based on saliva or
I
something.
do know
but-
that it's still a bit controversial because there are still places that have a zero tolerance for it, whether it's legal or not.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird. Like I know, like when I used to work in the mines, like in Labrador especially, like you take a drug test before you got the job,
Yeah.
and they tested for THC. So even if you hadn't smoked it for a week, they're still going to pick it up because it's
39
it's
days
stored in your
minimum.
fat cells, right?
Well, that's one of the reasons it's so
So-
controversial is that a lot of these
Yeah.
places that have a zero tolerance for THC also have
Yeah.
zero tolerance for alcohol, like right
Yeah.
before you go to work and during work.
Like I
And a lot of
understand
people
the
are
fact
complaining that the fact that, okay, fine, you can do an alcohol test right there on the job site, but you can't really test for THC and tell the difference between, like most of the tests are doing, is going to show up stuff that could have been taken on your days off or a week off previously,
yeah,
right?
which
Yeah.
is kind of not fair. Like they shouldn't be able to say, "Oh, white." Like it's fine to say, "While you're on site, you can't have marijuana. It's prohibited."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you,
fine.
you signed a contract to work for them on their property. That's
Yeah, it's
but
no
they-
different than alcohol.
They shouldn't be able
Exactly, it
to
is no
penalize you
different.
for smoking it at home on
No.
your days off. You can't. That's fucking nonsense.
No, you can't make something
Because
legal.
in every other regards, it's treated like alcohol.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
have to buy it at a
Like
store like alcohol.
before, they
If you
had
get
an
it caught
excuse,
with it
right?
in your
They could
reach.
say we don't want anybody involved in illegal activity. So
Yeah.
when weed was
Exactly.
illegal, then it's a criminal offense technically.
Yeah.
But now you don't have that leg to stand on. You can't use that argument anymore.
No.
Right? So, I mean, who knows? Really, I guess it's You would think that they could do like a swab or something.
Well, yeah, because I mean, especially if you're smoking it,
Yeah,
there's
for
got to
sure.
be some level of it that stays in your mouth for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Because I remember they were talking about doing some kind of swab test where as long as you had it within the last 4 hours,
It would pick it up.
it would register.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. That would be a
course.
perfect way,
It does.
right? Because
But
I'm sorry, I don't
know
care who
how-
you are.
I just don't
4 hours later, you're fine.
Yeah.
know how accurate it would be, because the only reason
that's
breathalyzers
the
work
thing.
for alcohol is the way we metabolize it. We actually expel vapor
Yeah.
as we metabolize the alcohol. Whereas
that's a good
THC is completely different. So I don't know how well
Yes.
that. It might be that they have a swab test that they're working on, but it might not be accurate enough. It's the only thing.
Yeah,
can
I know
think
what you're
of.
saying. Well, look, I'm sure they'll come up with something. There's a need for it.
Well, they're gonna
Somebody will
have to.
invent it.
Yeah. There's going to
That
have to be
works.
something put together.
Well, I just don't think it's been legal long enough for them to look into that side of it long enough to have a proper
Right,
test.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's too many companies out there that don't do any form of testing. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You think they'll
It's not
eventually?
like
I heard they
this
might make
giant
mushrooms
push.
legal eventually.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
See, because that's
That's a neurotoxin.
I'm not. Is it a psychedelic or a psychotropic?
It's,
I
it's-
don't know. Look it
All
up.
I can tell you is that it's a neurotoxin. It's actually poison, and it makes you hallucinate.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
weed is
Oh,
or
I know it's a hallucinogen.
alcohol is poison too. Technically.
hallucinogen.
Yeah, but it's a different type of poison. This
know.
actually like poisons your brain.
Well,
I type in "our mushrooms" and the first thing legal in Canada.
In
What am
high
I typing
school,
in? Are they what?
are they a psychedelic or a psychotropic?
What's the difference?
It's hard to explain. Would you read the definition, brother? Be better. I'll butcher it.
So no, they're a psychedelic.
I thought they were. Yeah.
It's the psilocybin. It's in them.
Yeah.
It's one of the most widely used psychedelic drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's something I actually got to get. Is a good pair of hiking shoes.
Yeah, they're hard to come by though. Like a good set.
Yeah. Good proper pair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got I can't remember the name of the company. Under Armour makes a real good one now. That's like the Cam Hanes edition.
I'd be digging the Under Armour gear.
Yeah, they look real good, and they don't have laces. They have that turn knob that tightens the cable.
See, I like that.
Really
That's
nice for hunting.
Yeah, it would be.
There's no snagging your lace in a alder bush or anything like that, or a tree. Like just
Oh, brother. Remember that time me and you were up where we had the moose blind? Before we had the moose blind?
pallet tree stand. Yeah.
But before we built it,
Yeah.
me and you went up there, remember one time, just scoping it out?
Yeah.
And we got lost.
I know. I remember that. Yeah. And we missed the road, Ed, by like 30 feet. We were literally, because it's a dead end road, and we're literally 30 feet to the left of the road, walked right by it.
I'm pretty
We
sure
were lost for hours.
I'm pretty sure I remember
Oh, yeah, we never-
when that happened, because we were all
Yes.
going to meet up at Gary's at a certain time, and I didn't hear from you guys for like almost 2 hours later, and we all met up, and finally you guys, when we got up there, I was like, what happened? We got lost. I was
We were
like, "What do
lost
you
for a
got
long
lost?"
time.
And you told me.
We were lost for at least 3 hours.
Four or
And
five.
the funniest part is I don't think we ever at any point got more than a kilometer away from the truck.
We walked over, and then we turned more left, and we ended up at like a steep embankment, and
Yeah.
we could hear the highway. And we literally contemplate. We were like, are we gonna go down this embankment and walk and follow that sound till we find the highway, and then call the old man
Walk back
come
up to
get
the
us.
truck.
to drive us to the truck?
Well, see, the
And
worst.
because we couldn't call him to come up and get us, because he could, like, to explain to him where the fuck we were was like,
You didn't know where you were.
no. But I mean, like,
No,
the
not at
truck,
all.
like, if he could have drove
Yeah.
up to the truck, he could have
honk
yelled
the
out
horn.
to us or honked the horn, and we could have followed his voice back, because we weren't that far away.
Well, see, the
But
biggest
we were
problem with
literally
that-
like, how do we tell him where we are?
yeah.
Like, how do we tell
Yeah.
him how to find the truck?
But the other reason
He
you were
never
probably
spends
lost,
time up there.
the reason you were lost for that long, once you realize you're lost, good luck keeping your
You start
mind
going
clear
in
enough
crazy
to think
directions.
logically about how to get back to that truck.
We did.
Right?
Well,
did,
we ended up
didn't
starting
panic, though. We did good.
bushwhacking.
We were bushwhacking hard. Yeah,
Like when we actually managed to get back to the truck,
soaking wet.
we had to start a fire so we could take our clothes off and dry some clothes.
Soaked.
Like to the bone, man.
Yeah.
Me and him standing there in our rubber boots
Froze to
and
death.
underwear.
Froze to death.
Freezing, standing around this shitty little fire at a damp ass wood.
Yeah.
Trying to dry some clothes. Oh man.
You mean
But
you didn't think about using
was
your
a good
GPS
time.
navigation on your phone?
We didn't have the phones with us.
You didn't have
no.
phones, we
Left them in the
We
truck.
don't
No
take
service, so we left
phones
them in the
in
truck.
when we're going
don't need
in
service.
the fucking woods. We don't want any of that nonsense.
No, but I mean, you,
Not when we bushwhacking.
that's why you would have it on you, though, because it has GPS. And as long as you search the area before you went in, while you had internet or while you were connected to the network, even if you lost service, you'd still get signal from the satellite, and you'd be able to see the map and find your way back.
Just to be clear, we started that fire and dried the clothes off just before we found the truck. Not
No, we did it right behind the truck.
no, brother. We would have just
Yeah.
gotten the truck and drove home.
No, because I told you, you're not getting in my fucking truck
Oh,
soaking ass
so-
wet.
yeah, that's a
Neither
good
was
point.
I.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We were fucking drenched,
We were drenched.
drenched. Like,
It's
to the... ah.
Newfoundland, the forest, man, is fucking. It's so tightly packed that it never dries out. It's like a rainforest.
Never.
It's always
It's a
wet.
very unique ecosystem.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Not only that, like look at the terrain. Like you're
Yeah.
going through the woods. You're going up and down, up and down. And like
Oh,
it's,
yeah. Oh,
it's rough. You ever see
That's
that
like-
episode of what's that episode where Buddy hunts people with the horse?
Oh man,
Oh,
tracker.
Man
Man
Tracker.
Tracker. You see the episode where he tried to do Newfoundland? He got
Yeah,
nowhere with
yeah.
his horse. Nowhere.
No.
He had a hard
Train's
time.
too rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, no, he did have a hard time. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal. But it was. Oh, it's like here, like when they're like, "Oh, look, it's a mountain over there." I'm like, "That's not a mountain.
That's a hill.
That's not even a hill in Newfoundland. That's a
Like
fucking.
Well, that's kind of tricky, right? Because there's not as many mountains around as people think.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're right. Mountains
Right,
are very
like-
different than.
Marble Mountain is not actually a
no,
mountain.
No, not really.
That's a hill.
It
it's not
doesn't.
big
It's
enough.
not high enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Now
I can't remember what a classification is to become a
I
mountain.
can't remember, but
it's
I'm sure it's a certain
considerably more.
elevation above sea level.
when
Yes,
when you go,
for sure.
go through Grossmore National Park, there's lots of mountains.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because you're
Yeah.
driving
Yes, 'cause
right
that's-
through a
you're
mountain
in the-
range.
Well,
Yeah, you're in the mountain range,
Going
yeah.
down the Humber Valley is mountain too. That's why it's called Long Range Mountains.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
just
yeah, you can see mountains from
Marble,
Deer Lake. If
Marble
you look out
Mountain.
around.
Marble Mountain is the like the lowest point of all those,
Yeah,
One of
and
them.
it's
Yeah.
it's not a cliff. Everything else there's a cliff. That's
Pretty
the
much.
only part that you could ski anyway. The rest of it's just a sheer rock face.
it's just
That's it.
funny, Chris, because you talk about up in Ontario, and they're like, "Oh, look, mountain there," and you're like, "Man, that's barely a hill." Imagine somebody from like the
Banff.
Rocky Mountains,
Saskatchewan.
somewhere, coming to Newfoundland. We're like, "Oh yeah, look, that's the largest mountain we got in Newfoundland." They're like, "That's a small hill."
Fuck is that?
Like, what's that?
Yeah, I got one in my backyard.
That's not even
Yeah,
pointed
okay,
on top. Sure, that's not a mountain.
Yeah, right.
No snow on top of that. That can't be a
It's
mountain.
true though. Like, no, it's not even comparable.
No.
Like at all.
No.
And this is
No, the Rocky Mountain Range is
Yeah.
way bigger.
and everything is a hill in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Yeah, in,
You're
in
either up or
comparison.
down.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as like here. Half of it's all flat.
Oh yeah. Imagine going to the prairies.
Oh, I've been to the
Oh,
prairies. It's
fuck,
fucking-
man.
You watch your
I
dog
remember
run away
driving
for 3
through,
days.
staring. I remember driving through, man, staring at the same silo for like 7 hours.
Yeah, no shit.
Are we ever gonna get to where that fucking thing is, or
Yeah.
what?
No, it's bananas, man. Weird. And then you get to like Calgary, and all you can see on the other side is like it's just
wall.
It's flat Canadian Shield.
Yeah.
Like just mountains. That's it.
And
It
real
is, too.
mountains, like a wall of
Yeah,
mountains.
like legit ones.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're just like how the fuck? Like if I wanted to go to BC right now, like how the fuck do I get over those?
Well,
It's a nice drive.
the biggest,
It's a
bet.
really nice
the biggest
drive.
difference between the mountains up there and the ones in Newfoundland is just the ones in Newfoundland are ridiculously older, and that's why they're all rounded and they don't have any pointy tops left.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine how much bigger they were when they were still new mountains like the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, fuck, man.
Like
Crazy.
if you look at how big the bases are and how much of the top has been rounded, and if you you extrapolated how tall they would have been, it would have been probably not quite Rocky Mountain size, but they would have been pretty handy.
Yeah. That's the one place I can't wait to go is to like go to Banff or
Oh man, scenery up there.
somewhere like
sweet.
that and like get one of those chalets that are up in the mountain with the hot tub and do a ski trip.
Be amazing.
Well, see,
man.
because I want to snowboard down the hill, down the mountain,
Obviously.
and then when I get to the bottom, I want to go to the skate park. Because that's what Banff's all about. You can go
That's cool.
snowboarding and skateboarding in the same fucking day.
We'll go one of these days. You'll have to just drive here and then we'll drive from here to there.
Oh, that'd be a
Make
hell
a
of
road
trip.
trip out of it.
That'd be a hell of a trip.
Fuck flying. Yeah. Fuck flying.
Yeah.
We'll just drive it.
No,
It's way
no.
cooler.
No need to fly. Drying's way cooler.
Yeah.
We can film it.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine.
You see the
All
prairies.
kinds of. Well, it's the side stops that are the real
Yep.
treats of the trip, right?
yeah,
Because
for
it's
sure.
those little things like, let's go check out the world's biggest frying pan,
Good
and
point.
you never know what could happen, right?
Like the PEI tomato.
You might
or
turn around
potato.
and there's Ty
Tomato.
Domi like, this is my frying pan. You want to fight about it?
Right? Oh, fuck. It's
Watch
like
now,
people
Ty
take
Domi shows up
stopping-
in the comments telling you.
That'd be awesome. That'd be
It
the
would
best
be.
thing
That'd
that
be
could happen.
wicked.
Ty Domi, you're a pussy. Hey, if it gets like traction for us, I'll take a punch in the face from Ty Domi any day of the week.
Ooh, that's a claim and a half.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
going to
rough.
sleep for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if anybody wants to see that,
Somebody call Ty Domi and let him know. Can you imagine?
have your people call our people.
Just
We'll work something out.
email us on the website that's coming soon.
Yeah.
Oh, you
MyBrothersPlace.com.
haven't got that done.
Or MyBrothersJoint.com. I fucked up the name of the
that'd
show and
be
everything.
As you can
Terrible.
tell, ladies and gentlemen, as we get more experienced in this medium, we will get better at filming.
And probably shouldn't get high before podcasts.
No, that's going to keep happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
The mistakes are, what we're saying is the mistakes are going to keep coming, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, they'll be fun, so stay tuned.
Except, Ed, you'll always be on point when you're on the show.
I'm starting to understand why you
Producer.
guys get me to do most of the editing.
Yeah. Because then I guess I could do it high.
Oh, I could totally do it.
I could do it
I
high
can't.
for sure.
I'm going to start getting into mixing some tunes, boys. Ooh,
gonna
we're
be
going to
cool.
have some music.
Boys, look at us doing everything. Handling it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God damn.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's good.
It is good. Boys, this is great.
Teamwork. What's going to work, boys?
Right? I wonder what they're going to do when it comes to, like, when everybody goes back to work. About, like, you know how, like, we were raised and, like, brought up. It's like, oh, you go to work even if you're sick. Like, don't be a pussy.
Yeah, dog through it.
You know what I mean? Like,
You got
puffing
work
up
to do,
and
get to work.
Yeah, get to work. Like, slug through it. I think it's going to be different now.
Yeah.
Like,
Employers are definitely going to have to look at regular sicknesses, flus, colds,
yep.
shit like that, stomach flus. They're going to have to realize now all of a sudden that, well, maybe we should just let these fucking people stay home for 2 days so we don't have a
Well,
possibility of something.
I know,
Well,
like,
it's already starting to go that way even before this
Yeah.
happened, though.
But I mean, will we forget in a year or two once this is over and go back to that way? Because it's a lot easier to revert to a habit that you've been doing for 30, 40 years.
Ever.
No,
than
it
is
won't
to
revert.
keep up something that's new.
Because
You
it
don't
was
think?
already starting to change before the pandemic even happened. I started to
Yeah,
notice it.
only in some industries. I know.
Oh,
like,
no, don't get me
when
wrong.
I
Yes,
worked-
some industries are still old school. Don't get me
When
wrong.
I worked in the
absolutely.
mining industry, I'm telling you right now, if you took a fucking day off, it wasn't even that they got mad that you took a day off. It's that they automatically assumed you were hungover. Like there was no benefit of the doubt that you actually had a flu or whatever it was.
Sickness, yeah.
They were like, you go in and they go, pretty rough. You can't make work when you're hungover or what? And you're like, you didn't even ask. You
Yeah.
fuck.
I would have told you.
Yeah. I started. It was so bad. Like the 3 or 4 times I ever missed work in the mines because you don't want to stay in your room anyway, right?
No,
It got so bad, like it only happened to me twice that they accused me of it, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go in every time I'm sick, and I'll sneeze on everybody there, rather than be accused of that, and they can send me home." And that's what you had to do. Everybody started.
Oh yeah,
adopted it
well
after
I've
a while.
always been on that note. It's better for them to send you home than it is to call
Yeah,
in.
but by then you've already made everybody else sick.
The problem with some
Yeah.
industries, though, especially the trades, is that a lot of tradespeople kind of made it that way because a lot of them do only not show up when they're hungover.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not the more common reason.
It just sucks for people that are actually legitimately sick because you're like,
Yeah.
really? Like, I just had the flu, man. Fuck off. I
Yeah.
had like a ridiculous fever, couldn't even see straight. I was almost hallucinating. Like, leave me alone.
So the thing there was you either had to take 2 days off, because
Yeah.
then it actually looked like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't do a 2-day bender where you couldn't go in for 2 days. In order for them to believe you that you were actually sick,
Yeah.
you know, which is weird because they all would see you at breakfast and dinner. You know what I mean? So like you'd know, right?
Yeah, it's not hard for them to tell. They see you every day. You're in camp. It's not like you're going home at
Yeah.
the end of the day.
And like when you work for a company for like 7 months and you've never taken a day off, and then you get sick one day, like why would you
You're like,
assume,
"Where
why
are
would
you?"
you assume that I was hungover? I've been
Yeah,
here
I never
7
missed a
months and
single
never
day.
done this. Like you
Yeah.
would think you'd go, oh, well, that guy never misses work. He must have been sick. That's
Yeah.
what I always thought when I was a supervisor. Like if one of my guys
Yeah.
that we had for like 9 months was there, and then one day he didn't show up, you're like, oh, he was probably pretty fucking sick because.
Yeah, you got to be sick.
Yeah.
He's got no history of showing or not showing.
But
so
but the guy that misses every Sunday or Monday, you're like
yeah,
every Monday, bro, or like, you know what I mean? 2 Mondays,
Why you
2
calling
Mondays
in
every
3
month. You're
Fridays
not
in a
here?
row?
What's going on?
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
you're
It's
drinking.
not hard to tell.
You know,
Yeah, I remember going to Ontario and working for a year. And a couple places I worked, I always ask the same things. Like, why does it seem like no matter where I go to work here, everybody gets paid on Fridays? Like a lot of places back home, we get paid on Thursdays in the same type of job. And they all had the
Yep.
same answer.
Yeah,
Had to cut out getting paid on Thursdays because nobody showed up Friday.
that's crazy, man.
that's nuts.
Because
They have a
everybody's
huge problem here with getting
hungover.
people to show up for work. I've never seen anything like it.
Up your way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, well,
real.
that's why
it's
I ended up
real
going
easy
to
to be a
Ontario
good.
for work years ago.
Yeah, it's real easy to be a good employee here. All you have to do is show
Yep.
the fuck up.
I mean, I had people from Ontario who happened to know my brothers and knew that I was still living at home, and I was actually, oh wait, should be in his early 20s now. He's old enough to come to work. Just because they knew of somebody that wasn't from Ontario, they started calling down and trying to get a hold of my parents to get a hold of me because they were that desperate, just looking for people with driver's license and that didn't have a record.
Like I was
Yeah.
saying to somebody the other day, I was like, if I brought the boys up from home, they'd kill it here
Oh yeah,
because they always go to work. I never remember, like you guys never miss work.
No,
well, I was
unless
always
you
on
got
the same
to.
attitude we talked about earlier. I'd rather go to work and them send me home, and then they know for sure.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I'm
you
sick.
had to.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah.
You had to. But like everybody
I
from
didn't even
home's got-
feel right if I didn't.
Yeah. But everybody from home has got such a better work ethic. Like people would chomp at
Well,
the bit.
it's
to
one or
have
the
you.
other from back home, right?
Yeah, that's
Either
a
you
good
works
point.
like a dog,
Yeah.
or you don't fucking work at all.
Yeah, well, see, that's
or
the
you,
thing.
Or
is-
you works like a dog for 6 months and get your stamps and then don't work. And then you go out and visit.
Yeah. But you got to look at the people who are from here and live here. When you see the groups of people that go around and leave the province a lot, go find work, they're the ones with a good work ethic. Then you
Yeah.
look at the ones that graduate high school and just still stay and live in their own hometown, never went anywhere. A lot of times, they never go anywhere, never do nothing. They're the exact opposite.
Or they
Lots of
just
them
get,
around too.
or they just get into a job that they had forever, like at the lumber
Oh yeah.
mill.
Don't
and
get me
then they
wrong. Yeah,
just-
there's
that's
people
it.
like that gets a job around here, never goes anywhere, and they're happy
Yeah.
with it. That's fine. But I'm talking about the ones that never really
And they
nail
work.
down
They
a
still
job.
work hard. You know what I mean? Or like
Oh yeah, those
Oh,
do.
yeah,
but
they
I'm
still
talking about
work
the ones
hard.
that never can't keep down a job, never left their hometown.
Oh yeah.
And they got this attitude where they almost feel entitled. Where like, oh well, it's no good fun
Yeah,
work
that's
around
weird.
here. It's like, why not? Oh, they don't pay enough. It's like, well, what qualifications do you have?
It's better than not getting paid at all.
It's like, what do you mean? What qualifications? It's like, oh, did you go to school? You got a trade? No.
Yeah.
So why are
And then what kind of money do you
Like,
expect?
your unskilled labor is only worth so much money.
exactly?
Yeah.
And then you tell them,
Like,
like, why don't you go
don't
to
get
the
me
mainland
wrong,
and get a
like-
job? Oh, it costs too much. It's like, yeah, because you won't
Yeah.
work to make any money. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't cost
Like,
that much.
don't
to
get me
here.
wrong. I mean, I know how to do a lot of stuff, and the quality of what I know how to do is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But I got nothing saying I know how to do anything, so I don't walk into a place of business and be like, "Yeah, I want $35 an hour,"
No, because you can't.
because they're gonna be like, "Why?"
You can work there
How-
for a
how do
little
you
while
just-
and get
how-
that once you prove to them that you are that good.
Sure,
But
Yeah.
you can't walk in
But,
demanding
like-
it off the hop.
no, like, that's just
Right.
unrealistic.
Yeah. Makes no sense. But everybody wants like the $30 an hour job where they're going to school to put the work in,
I know, but they don't realize that.
But even these guys that are
like,
right?
even these guys that I've seen in apprenticeship programs,
Mm.
they'll be like in the mechanic industry. Like I've seen guys that are first and second year,
Yeah.
and the place that they're employed at will be like, "Hey, we don't really have anybody right now. You're not busy. Do you think you could start getting this transmission ready to come out?" And they'll be like, "No, I'm not gonna. You're not gonna pay me proper for that. You're only gonna pay me second year wages." How about
Right.
they're trying to see if you're worthwhile to fucking hang on to throughout the apprenticeship
Right.
program?
you have no idea how much I've seen that because I am an automotive service
It's
technician.
crazy.
And when I was going through, when I was a first year, I got a job at a dealership right out of school. So as soon as they would give me anything other than tire changes and oil changes, I'd jump all over that shit. I wanted to prove myself.
yeah.
I started getting like I was begging them for electrical work, whatever I could get.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I specialized in several different things. And then I got younger people coming in behind me, and that's the exact attitude they got. And when I try to tell them, it's like, look, you ever
Yeah.
think that maybe they're testing you? They're going to give you
Yeah.
bigger and better jobs, not because they're trying to get work done for cheap, but because they
Yeah.
want to see if it's worthwhile to specialize you in something and start
Yeah,
paying
see
you
if
more.
you can handle it.
I know because I went through it.
Yeah. When I was an apprentice, like when you got put, because when you're first year, it's your first job or whatever.
Yeah.
You put on a cable pulling crew or something, or grounding and bonding or whatever. But when they come to you and you're like, "Hey, do you want to go build some cable tray?" And you're like, you don't say, "Well, I want more money." You're like, "Okay, fuck, this is great. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get this
let's do
build
it."
some cable tray now." And then when they come to you and they're like, "Hey, listen, do you want to terminate that JB?" And you get into doing that, and you're like, "Oh yeah, fuck," because those are the better jobs, right? And you're just happy that you're getting, like, you're like, "Okay, I must have done something right." Like they're trusting me to go into a panel now and do some shit, right? And then they come to you and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do some high voltage termination?" You're like, "Okay, I must be getting somewhere now because these are important." Like if you fuck up a high voltage termination, that's a costly fucking fix
Imagine.
because you're talking a new cable.
Meh.
Yeah. So like, but you never ever ask for more money until you go back to school with your hours of experience, write your exam, become a third year, and then you come back. You're like, okay, now I
Exactly.
expect a little pay increase because now I'm recognized as I have more knowledge
little
than
better.
I used to have. So
And like-
now
and
I'm
like you
worth more
said,
to you.
When they ask you to do the more advanced stuff, one, when you start off at the bottom, you get all the shit jobs. So
Yeah.
why not do the better work?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Just
just the
shut
order
the
of
fuck
things.
up and take the
You're on
better
the bottom
job.
of the pole.
And,
know
and
what I
that's the thing. As a first year, if they're asking you to take out a transmission, yeah, that's a bit more advanced, but you're only taking it out for the transmission tech. They're not expecting you to rebuild it.
Yeah. So
You're not the
what do
one
you
gonna
want to stay
rebuild it.
changing tires?
Exactly.
Yeah.
right?
You know what I
What do
mean?
you wanna
What do
do?
you want to
Here's
do?
a
You
set
want
of
to stay over
brakes.
on the
How about some
tire machine
brakes?
or come over and pull this transmission out and maybe learn something?
Exactly. Because let's face it, brakes,
Or at least
Tire
fuck
changes?
something up and learn something.
yeah. But like brakes, tire changes, oil
See,
changes,
even
that's
suspension.
the worst jobs. So why
It's all
wouldn't
the
you want to get
same.
away from that as
It's
soon as
all
possible?
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, if there's any advice you can give an apprentice right now, if you're, anybody who's listening who is going through an apprenticeship program, don't worry about making mistakes. It's fine
No.
as long as you learn from them.
Yeah.
Because
That's why you're
any
an
journeyman who
apprentice.
tells
That's what
you
you're there
he
to
didn't
do.
make a fucking mistake is full of shit
Absolutely.
and is the worst tradesman on the planet. Because that's not
Means you
true.
didn't learn a damn thing.
That means he did nothing
Well, that's what I was
of
about to
any
say.
significance.
Because if you didn't make
So-
any mistakes, you didn't learn anything either.
I made tons
Yeah.
of mistakes as an apprentice and as a journeyman.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anybody who says they doesn't is full of shit.
Well, see, in trades, you could say that you don't make mistakes. They're all learning experiences.
Yeah, but that's a yuppie way of saying shit. You fucked up, kid. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. Just learn from it. Don't do it again.
But that's no. But that's my point. You got to learn
right.
from something. Right? Like
Yeah,
if you're not
of
making
course,
mistakes,
man.
you're not doing nothing.
Well, you're an idiot if you're not learning from them.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
too.
Then you're just being a moron. But like, everybody's cut a cable too short, or cut a wire too short, or put a wire under the wrong screw because they're close together.
Yes.
Like everybody's done.
Well,
Or an automotive.
I had to
read
get
the wrong
book-
torque
I
spec,
had to
broke off the
get-
bolt.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to get Ed and Tyler to come over and diagnose my fucking heater issue or my outlets in the basement because I fucking wired them 240.
I remember that now. Yeah.
You put two hots on it, both sides. Brother, what the fuck were you thinking there? You didn't put.
I told you,
didn't
man.
put it on.
I've
the
been
neutral bar
telling
on
you
the
for
panel.
years. Electrical is my least.
You put them both under the
No.
breaker instead of putting one to the neutral bar and one to the.
Yeah.
It's not that
20
what was he
heads.
thinking, is that he didn't realize what he did.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
No,
I
I know,
plugged
I'm
in a
just- I'm
little
making a bit
clock
of fun.
radio that I had, and the clock radio, it just like it lit up for half a second, and then it just died, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell's going on
Oh,
here?"
what the-
There's obviously power.
Yeah.
So I called these guys, and they were like, so what happened?" I told them, they're like, "I think you got that wired for 240." Like, I don't fucking know, man. I just took the wires out of the heater and put them back where they were supposed to go.
And the first thing I said is like, that radio must have overheat protection or something. I'm surprised it didn't catch fire. Like it just shut off
Yeah, no
instead of
shit.
catching fire, right?
Did it ever work after, bro?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, that one didn't. No,
No, that radio's fried.
Yeah.
For sure.
it just yeah. I was thinking about
It's
the
fun. It's funny though.
light. I think you tried.
But I'll tell you, I've learned a lot over the last
yeah,
year and
for
a
sure.
half where I'm doing property maintenance now.
Yep.
I picked up a lot of electrical stuff.
Yep.
A lot of plumbing too,
Oh,
actually.
I'd imagine.
Electrical is a lot of just breaking things back down to a simple circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you got a big elaborate circuit, if you just break it back down into its base forms,
Individual runs.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty straightforward.
Well,
after that.
that's like electrical and automotive. I mean, so many young apprentices are scared to death of it because they'll look at a wiring schematic and they'll see like literally hundreds of circuits. They're like, what's going on here? It's like,
Yeah.
just focus on the one circuit that has the issue. Forget
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
It's just one circuit, literally.
and I
it's a
understand
DC circuit too. So it's just
Yeah.
power and ground. It's
Yeah.
super easy if you just focus on that.
Yeah, I understand it too. Like it is when you look at automotive electrical, it is overwhelming.
looks
'Cause
overwhelming,
It
yes.
looks overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you just again pull the circuits apart and make them separate, it's much easier.
Just
The only big trick the only big problem I find with dealing with a lot of the residential stuff is a lot of our properties are, getting to the 50 plus years old.
Oh, so they got
So there's
old.
been multiple renovations done in these
Yeah.
units, and there's been alterations done. Things have been added, things have been taken away.
like
so-
the one the other
Well,
day.
it's like that situation that I called you about, right?
Yeah.
With that GFI.
And they were running.
What in the hell is the light being run off the GFI
They were
for?
running the feed. The feed came up, went through the GFI to a switch up to a light. So it was powering a GFI and the light, and it was switched.
Here, I got one
Above
for you.
And a bathroom
A
fan.
new house in Newfoundland that's only about 5 years old, right? The GFI
Yeah.
in the main bathroom upstairs also sends the power to the bathroom fan, the bathroom lights, the fan and lights, and also the bathroom in the master bedroom. All run off the
Terrible.
GFI in the regular bathroom out in the hall.
So weird. I don't know why you
Because
do
correct me if I'm wrong, brother, but isn't a GFI supposed to be the end of the trail?
that. No, so
Isn't the GFI supposed to be? I thought it was the last one.
No.
It was supposed to be
It's
the last
supposed to
one.
be
of the
between
line.
the power source and the load, because if you have a problem with the load where something shorts or there's water involved, it'll break the power from the power supply
yeah.
to the load.
So basically, if you want to put like you're allowed up to 12 plugs on a circuit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to bring like for a kitchen, for example, anything within 5 feet of a water source has to be a GFI. So i.e. your sink, right? But the plug after the GFI can be a regular plug.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
as long as the GFI is before it in the circuit,
It'll
the
act-
GFI will protect everything down the line.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
you always,
GFIs are
yeah,
gonna be
you
first.
just make sure that when you come from your panel, your first plug is a GFI, and
Yeah.
then anything after it is protected.
And that's why they did it this way in the house that I'm talking about, because they put a GFI in the main bathroom, right?
And powered
And
everything
they
else
powered
off it.
everything in that bathroom off it. Okay, fine. But then rather than put a second GFI in the other bathroom on the other side of the house in the master bedroom, they ran the power off that first GFI just so they didn't have to get another one.
Yeah, but now correct me if I'm wrong on another thing. You can only have one GFI on a circuit.
No, you can have more, but you just wouldn't because they're expensive.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Like
about like
they're more
these
than
are
a regular plug.
these
right?
are in two different places in
Yeah.
the house.
No,
like-
no, we know what you're saying. We know what you're saying.
It's just they made it one circuit.
But
I just found it
you-
funny because the GFI, if the GFI trips in the main bathroom, nothing works in the bedroom master suite either, right?
Yeah.
I found that out because I plugged in something in the main bathroom and it shorted out the GFI. And all of a sudden, the missus went to go blow dry her hair in the master bedroom, and she plugged in the dryer and nothing worked. She went to go flick on the light, nothing worked. She was like, "What's going on?" I reset the GFI, everything came on. I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's two different parts of the house. It's just funny.
Yeah. Oh,
This
it's
chair
strange.
fucking sucks, man. It feels like my tailbone got smashed by a
I
hammer.
like it.
I don't know. I gotta find another position or something. Shit.
Well, we're at an hour 45 now. We could probably call it.
Yeah, I
short.
think it was a good time to wrap it
Yeah,
up.
sure. Sounds good. All right, Ed. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming on again, buddy. I appreciate it.
No problem. Somebody got to.
Absolutely, we can see it being. Yeah, you'll be a reoccurring face, anyways.
All right, brother. Tell the folks where they can find us.
Absolutely, you can check us out on Facebook, Brothers Media. We're also on YouTube, again, Brothers Media, and my brother Chris there. He runs our Instagram site,
Yeah. So you can find us on My Brother's Place and Brothers
My
Media.
Brothers Joint.
And you can also look for us on our upcoming website coming soon, mybrothersjoint.com.
And
Gotta get that name.
I gotta
right,
get that right.
brother.
don't forget Brothers Media on Patreon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night. See you soon.
Love ya.
Later, folks.
Good night.
See you later.